He states, if game does not give enough relations to players' successful actions, player will be upset, and only way to success becomes always capturing settlements. True. He says, I see you say game is not challenging, but to make the game challenging, settlements should be harder to capture. Firstly, true. I agree. Hey, look, I agree with this. And I'm going to say something that I said before. We need capitals. I've been saying this for months. We need a town which the AI or the player can designate. Here's how I see it. If you own, this is for example, but this is how I would see it. Let's say at the beginning of the game, every single kingdom should have a capital town. One capital town. It could be static. It doesn't have to be random. It could be just be like the Khazaits always have this town as their capital. The you know what I mean. The Azrai have this town as their capital. Doesn't matter. Just a static capital. In that capital town, there's 3 times the amount of people in it. What I mean by this, what's it called? Like the normal town has what, like about 700 on average. You know, sometimes it goes lower, sometimes it goes higher. 600 to 700 on average. The capital towns would have close to 2K. Close to 2K. And these towns would make massive income, and they would be owned by the leaders of each single kingdom. I think this would also solve the problem, which he was talking about earlier, where there's a big problem where kings of, the ruler clans of kingdoms are having problem with money. This would also solve that, in my opinion. But each single, kingdom has a capital, and that capital has so much more units, and this makes it so, it's kind of like this stronghold for each single kingdom. And kind of, once you take that down, that really, really will hurt the enemy economy and all of that, because it will be, and it'll be harder to take, as he states right here. I think that should be added. And, for example, if you make your own new kingdom, you know what I mean? Once you hit 4 towns, you can pick one of the towns as your capital. I think it should be like that. I think that would be so good. Hopefully a mod comes out. I don't know what can come out, or if the devs decide to do it, but I think we need it. And I think it will add a lot to the late game as well, because 2K troops is really hard to get, and you will need a late game army and the late game leadership, just so you can afford all the stuff that's associated with it. And I think the capital should have more siege placements, all that. This is just an idea I have, and I think it really should be added, and I think it will add a lot more to the late game of Bannerlord, and make it a little bit harder.